All right, what's on the bench? This was sent in for a review, this is going to be a great project because it's going to end up with something that other people will want to do on my channel, okay? And that is to make PC boards. I'm going to use this to make PC boards. A lot of people do that already, but I never have. And so it's going to be a learning experience for me. And I'll show you the steps involved, and we'll kind of see what kind of quality we can get out and what it might be good for, what it might be bad for. This is the 3020 Nova made by the LUNYEE company. And yeah, it uses familiar parts. I designed my own router ages ago, which I might try to resurrect someday, but it uses a router that's going to be held here. So there's a Z stage, and this will mount here where the router will go, and then there's a Y stage and there's an X stage, or however you want to call them. So yeah, this one goes back and forth, this one goes back and forth, this one will go up and down. So yeah, it comes just like this. So a lot of it's assembled, comes in a big box. I'll show a picture here. And so very little assembly. Step 2, put on the motor bracket. So this screw does double duty, tightening down the spindle. All right, put the motor in. All right. So it's starting to look like something. All right, I think you can get the idea here. We have back and forth movement, in and out movement here, and then up and down movement here. The router is on and off here, and then adjustable speed here, right? It is not controlled. So when you use it, sometimes they have a spindle control. They can turn it on and off, but this one you have to manually turn it on. And yeah, it comes with some bits, and it comes with a box of replacement brushes for the motor. Because these things are like, I don't know, 18,000 RPM or something like that. Let's take a look at the specs. We didn't do that. All right, I thought it did. It does come with the Z probe. So what is a Z probe? Well, it plugs into the machine up here, and then you attach this alligator clip to the cutter, right? So let's say this is the cutter in the instrument, and you attach this. Now this is a switch, right? And so it lowers the Z until it touches here, and then that makes electrical contact, and it says, okay, that's a Z, that's the Z height. And then you know the nominal thickness of this, and you can compensate for it, right? So it does come with a Z probe. If you're doing PCB work though, you already have a copper plate, right? And so you would just use a tester like this, where you would have two alligator clips, one for the bit, and then you would just clip one onto the PC board. Ouch, clipped it onto my finger. And then you would go around the PC board and just touch off. It would come down and it would just map the whole warpage of the PC board and put that into the software. So that's something I want to do. But yeah, it does come with the Z probe. So yeah, let's get this thing wired up. Okay, here's the back side of the instrument. So there's a big power supply here. Here's the electronics. Power cord goes in here. A bit a little wobbly there. I guess that's okay. And so, okay, that looks good. Step 1, to plug in. I'm assuming this goes here because it fits. Z motor, yeah. And then this guy would fit over here. Now we have a Z control. We have 2 more connections here. One of them is for a spindle connection, which we don't have. It can control at least the electronics here can control the spindle, and it says laser. So I believe you can get an option for these where you can buy a laser and use this to do laser cutting as well. Maybe that's something I should do in the future. But yeah, I think we're done. Let me double check the manual and we'll see if we can do something. All right, well, the next step is to put in some software. First of all, you have to figure out what is your COM port. So you turn it on and plug it in and go into Windows and figure out, I figured out it was COM5, all right? One word of warning is make sure your e-stop button is not enabled. So let me move it over here. The e-stop button was pressed on mine and then it just doesn't work at all. So make sure that the e-stop button is not depressed, it's fully out. All right, and then all the software comes on a USB stick, which is nice. So you need to load in the USB driver if you don't already have it, but I loaded in their USB driver. And then you load in this program here, and it's in the book which program to load and how to do it. This is called the Universal G-Code Center. This is a lot like Curve. So I think it comes with a copy of Curve also, so maybe it works with both of them. I'll give that a try. But yeah, so it looks a lot like things like Mach 3. You can say go to 0 and do other things, right? So let's go ahead and zoom out a bit here. I don't think, can I get it all, sort of get it all on camera here? Okay, so let me type in a command here. Let me get in the command window. So if I say X100, it's going to move it to 100 millimeters. And it did that just fine. If I say Y100, these are G-code commands. And there goes the Y. Okay. And then it has a macro built in, go to XY0. It automatically goes back to 0. So it's doing just exactly like a Mach 3 type of thing if you ever did that before. You can jog. There's a jog controller here, so let me jog the Z-axis down. So it's moving down 1 millimeter at a time. Yeah, so I could go to the command thing here. I could go Z minus 50, and it'll move it down 50 millimeters. The Z-axis is always slower than the X and Y. All right, I've downloaded some G-code. I don't know if you can see it here on camera. Hopefully you can, but it's the PC board. And so let's just see if we're going to do it up in the air and see if it knows what to do. So we're going to jog down into the air somewhere, okay? We're going to go, we're going to do an X. Well, we'll just let it run from here just to see what happens. Yep, that's good. It's on hold. That's good. We can say run again or click hold to run again. Maybe run again. Yeah, there we go. Ah. All right, so it's going to kind of, it's coming down. Spindle's coming down. And then once it gets to where it thinks it needs to go, it's plunging the router in. There we go. Now it's going to be moving and routing the board. Yeah, it is. Nice. I know it's moving little small little things, but what we're doing is we're etching this little board here. It's only yay big, so it's doing a surface mount routes and stuff. And you can watch here the G code is incrementing, so you can watch the G code being executed here. So this thing is very, very close to being able to be used. All right, so as the machine is cutting, the visualizer actually shows you what the machine is doing. So this is my G code that it's trying to replicate. So the little blue lines are where the tool path is, and as it goes and cuts the tool path, it erases those blue lines so you can see your progress. All right, and here's the same G-code running on a different platform. This is called Candle. This is the one that's been recommended to me. So yeah, it seems to operate just fine under Candle. And I think you can see there, it's got the little simulated toolpath. So if you're going to try this out for the first time, I suggest that you do an air cut, which means just raise the spindle up to some level. Don't even put a bed in. And just have it kind of trace out your PC board in the air, or whatever you're making. Just trace it in the air first, and then maybe as a second step, just try some wood. Have it cut some wood. That's what I did, and it seemed like it was doing just fine. And then we can do progress to an actual PC board. All right. Well, so let me show you some boards that I made and talk about them. So. Here was some of my very first cuts. You can see that it dug in way too deep here. I didn't set the 0 correctly. There's actually a probe. You can use a connection. So you put one connection on your PC board. You put one connection on the router bit, and then it goes down. It touches and hits and makes a 0. Okay. And I'll show more about that in a later video on how to do that even better. It's not part of this machine. It's part of a different software package. This video is all about reviewing the machine. Okay, so it cut really well. I have no problems there. This is a little bit later. I was trying maybe too fine, but I think you can see. So you can see it's done some pretty fine lines. That's an SO16 package. Oh, no, I mean, this is a dip package, and this is an SO package. So it'll do quite fine lines. Now, once you have these fine lines, though, you're going to run into solder bridges because there's no solder mask, right? So you could go in and paint solder mask and stuff. Comment below if you can tell me how do you do surface mount with fine pitch on a machine like this. I think it's really good for coarse stuff, but for fine stuff, I think it might be a little bit of a learning curve. But it does really fine work. All right, so here I've made a board. It's a simple transistor circuit, and I did the routing and I did the drills. It's a two-step operation. First you go and route everything out, then you have to change tool bits, and you go back in and it drills them all out, right? Put an IMSAI guy on it here. And it can make a little IMSAI dog. Look at that, he's really cute. All right, so you can cut aluminum. Here is IMSAI dog on a chunk of aluminum. So that is kind of funny. But here's the circuit, right? So you have capacitor coming in, there's biasing into NPN, and then the typical times 10, here's a 10K, 1K, and then the outputs like that. So what I've learned though is you might want a thicker, if you make something coarse, you might want a thicker cutting tool so that your spaces, there's more clearance in your isolation trace. Okay, so for fine pitch stuff like I showed here, you want a real fine tip, but maybe on something like this, you might want a thicker tip. But anyway, like I said, it seems to work great. So let's end the review of the instrument. And I'm going to shoot another video that's going to take you through the whole process of going into KiCad, designing a board, creating Gerbers, and then going to a program called FlatCam. FlatCam converts your Gerbers into a CNC, and then you go into a program where it actually downloads it to the machine. And I'll take you through all of those steps, okay? And we'll talk about zeroing also. So maybe it's 2 videos, but yeah. All right, so let's take a quick minute to talk about the machine. I'm very impressed for what its intended use is. It's a light-duty machine. It's not going to be a heavy-duty machine, but it's built really well. It's much more rigid and heavy-duty than I thought it was going to be. So they did a good job there. It's got nice linear bearings. And really, it's put together well. It's all put together. There's really, other than bolting the Z-axis on, there's really not much else to go on. Now, there's going to be a huge learning curve if you've never used something like this before. You got to learn, all these different programs, because it's not one thing, right? But the machine itself is great. Spindle seems to operate good. I was cutting at speed 6 here. It takes 1/8" bits. It's a standard collet size, so you can get different collets if you want to use different bits, but it comes with an 1/8" collet. And I think, like I said, for this channel, for our use of it, for doing two-dimensional objects, I think it's going to be really, really good. It can do 3D, like I said, maybe light duty, yeah, it's about $600. It was $600 on a sale. There'll be some links down below if you're interested. But yeah, I think it's a good machine.